Let's talk all things arts on Julie Whitney Scott Presents, heard only on WGRN 91.9 LP, the Green Renaissance Station. Welcome, ladies, to Let's Talk All Things Art.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Jolie, for having us come in today and speak about Deployed to the Cross.
Well, let's start off with why not the writer of Deployed to the Cross. Phylis, tell everybody a little bit about you and your background as a writer.
Well, I've been writing most of my life, not professionally. I've never been really truly trained as a writer. As a young child, I was offered a scholarship down to Kentucky for journalism. But coming from a family who had the old beliefs about women and where women should be and what they should do, I wasn't allowed to attend or accept that scholarship. But it never, ever stopped me from writing. And in 2006, I started to write as a school assignment. And then in 2017, I was told to pick that back up, that assignment up, and to complete it. And at that time, I was doing my ministry, Sisters in the Spirit. And so I finished writing this story about Tyra, a woman, and I read it to them. And they said, you have to do something with this. Being not sure myself, or if it would be accepted, I sent it out. I had the year before that, I have to tell this story. The year before that, I saw Mine for God looking for submissions for a play. That was in 2016. And for some reason, I cut that out and it hung on my wall for a whole year. And I sent my play off to Evelyn Jones Reed. She's an international playwright who has won many awards. And she read it and she said, submit that to Mine for God. And I did. And it was accepted. And from that point on, I knew that I was supposed to write.
I want to piggyback on what you said. Like you said, I wasn't a professional writer. I believe that anybody that writes is a professional writer. Anybody that writes, especially when they have written all their life stories, it's one of those, yes, we all may not be published, or our work may not all be seen or heard or read, but I am still a writer, whether somebody puts that title on me or not. So I just want to throw that out there to you and my listeners out there who write. Remember that if you're writing, you're a writer. And the reason I say that is because writers write. Okay? There are people that dibble and dabble and don't write. They don't like it. They're not storytellers. So I just wanted to throw that out there to you, Phylis, that you are a writer because you write. You write. So Miss Sonia, tell us a little bit about you and your acting.
Absolutely. I am fairly new to putting myself out there, to being part of a production of this sort. I have had experience in acting in high school, and I did some plays with local churches, things of that nature. But this is my first big production. I'm super excited about it. I've also been able to, over the span of my years, I'm a poet. So I've been able to present poetry in addition to that. So that has all led me to this very moment where I get to talk to you.
Oh, that's really good to hear. Because I'm a poet too, don't you know it?
I
And
love
we
it.
have to get you back on here just independently so we can talk about your poems and you can share some of those
I
if
love to.
you'll be willing to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay. But for today, Phylis, deployed to the cross. How did that come about?
Well, most of the plays that I write are about real life situations, things that I've experienced, things that other people have experienced. And this came about, actually, it came from a scripture. This play is based on a scripture, Ephesians 4:2. And it's about how we get stuck in a bad situation and that we have to forget about the past and we have to be able to move forward. We have to be able to have unselfish love. We experience that today through racism, through families that are being split, children taken away, but they still have that love. They'll always have that love in all of our relationships. So this here story is about a military family who struggles because of the separation and the duties and responsibilities that are required of military people. I come from a military family. So part of this story I've seen and I've heard. Not everything, but part of it. And the rest of it comes from the vision, the hurts that people go through. But everything, if you truly, truly love, you can get through it. That's the one thing. We're all going to have differences. But if we work and if we truly forgive and are unselfish in our love, then we can get through it. And that is what this basically is about: the struggles, the hardships of military life, the challenges that they go through. And at the end, can their love survive all that?
Sonia, talk to us about your role, Samatha, and what is the character's role? What is her dilemma?
Yeah, absolutely. Samantha is the wife of a military soldier. So we take that walk with her as she handles family, as she handles life, being a wife, being a mom, being a part of a new community. So it's just a matter of us taking a walk through all of the emotions that entails, all the myriad of feelings and desires that she has. And Samantha's a very complex character. She holds a lot in, and it's really nice because in the play you get to see her as she evolves. So she's just, it's a growth story, and I can appreciate that part of it. So just learning to deal with the naysayers of life, the voices in your own head that are telling you one thing as opposed to another, or as opposed to what you feel may be right. So it takes a journey with her, and I really, really enjoy the storyline and working with the entire cast, who all bring their own elements to help also develop Samantha into the person that she becomes at the end.
Do you see yourself or any other women that you may have known in Samantha?
Absolutely, absolutely. In that, I too am a wife. I too am a mom, and marriage is hard. So I can attest to that. So yes, I can absolutely relate to Samantha, relate to some of the struggles, some of the pain, some of the hurt, some of the healing that she feels in this play. So definitely I can see myself in her quite a bit. It is a challenge to me though, still, with that said, to reach some of the heights, and show and be that vulnerable in a role. So I can appreciate that part of it, and the similarities that we share. I've never been part of a military family as actually, I take that back. My dad was in the military, but it was before I was born. He was out by the time I came around. So I can only imagine. I know that there was moving. I know that my mom had children, small children during the process. So I'm gonna have to talk to my mom today, ask her some questions. So she may be my inspiration for this role. I love that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Phylis, tell us about the husband of Samatha.
Samantha's husband, Jacob, is very devoted to his military responsibilities, his duties. He identifies with the military. That's and as much as he loves Samatha and their child, he loves the military life too. It makes him feel like he's completing the responsibilities of a husband, going out, taking care of people, making sure that everything is okay in the world. But the problem is that Jacob is also, in a sense, a coward, because he doesn't want to push his emotions and his feelings up to the surface. He'd rather run and hide from them. Even though he's a soldier and he's been trained in diversity and adversity, he still cannot do it in his own life. He can do it as a military man, but when it comes to a family man and a father, he can't. So he goes through a lot of struggles. He goes through a lot of hurt and a lot of pain, in the natural and in the spiritual. Emotionally, he's distraught. And he has to make a hard choice. And I think people will have to come to the play to see what the choices that he and Samatha have to make.
You said something in regards to Jacob being a coward and not being able to express his feelings. I think that generally people think that men, period, in general, some of them have a hard time with emotions because of not just military, but just plain society of putting on them for, from Adam, that they are the breadwinner. They take care. And from Eve, where we, the woman, is the helpmate to help them. And you got that extra burden of being in the military. So you have, my father was a Marine, ex-Marine. And like you, Sonia, when we were young, I can't really remember all that. I know that there was different places we was living until he was out of it, and we got stabilized and he moved us here to Columbus. And but I was 7 at that time. However, he still had those same mentalities of military in raising us, in discipline. As far as my father would be like, KP, we had to wash walls, it'd be all of us washing walls, and that's our punishment. From that military background, DT, get to cleaning, scrubbing, doing different things like that. And expectations. So I would, when you think about the men in this play, is there any males in the play that help him, or any, do we see a contrast to Jacob? Everything is in me, versus somebody else that's more, another man that has that other side that's more open. Do we see that in the play?
Rob is Jacob's best friend in the military. He is a senior to him. He really wants Jacob and Samatha to reconcile their differences. throughout their marriage that they face. He wants him to think about the challenges that not only he has to deal with, but what Samatha has to deal with. He has seen many, he tells Jacob. He's been there for a long time. And he's seen many military families go through different challenges. And some of them can make it, and others don't. So that Jacob needs to really understand that there's consequences with the decisions that he's going to make. And the decisions that he make will be complete. And he can't fix it once he makes those choices.
That's a great question too, Julie, because I feel like in the play, you'll see what that support system looks like for Jacob versus what that support system looks like for Samatha. And they're very different. And the outcomes and the way they deal with those emotions and that support system, it also adds to the story as well.
Yes, I'm glad you said that, Sonia, because I was just going to ask you, as the wife in this play, what support systems, if any, did you have, are we going to see in this play? So thank you for that. I want to start with you, Sonia. What is it that you want the audience to take away from when they walk out of the theater? What would you like them to take away with in regards to this play?
I think a big component that the play is directing the audience and even us as cast members too is that even when life happens, you have to continue on. You have to push on. You utilize the people around you. You utilize your spiritual self to motivate yourself, to move yourself forward. Any situation that you experience, no matter how hard it is, no matter if you were right or wrong, there is an outcome and you have to keep going until you get there. It doesn't end just because there's a situation happening, just because life got hard. And for everyone, that's a different level, that's a different thing, that's a different scenario. But in the end, keep pressing on. Don't give up. You are your own person at the end of the day. It is your relationship with God that is going to keep you moving. And it emphasizes that. I would like everyone to walk away knowing that they're at the end of the storm, at the end of the trials, there is healing, there is love, there is joy that can be found. Life does not stop with any one particular situation. We got to keep moving.
Phylis, I want to ask you the same question.
Basically, what I would like to see the audience walk away with is similar to what Sonia's been saying, but that no matter what the trials are, because we're all going to go through trials, there's no one on this earth that won't face some kind of difficulty. But the fact of it is, we don't quit when we're in them. We need endurance, and there's always going to be a way out. There's always going to be a way out. For me personally, that way is through faith. For a lot of people, they may have another way, and that's okay, because everybody has to find their own motivation, their own encouragement to keep them strong, to give them that strength so that they can finish what's been started. Because just like being pregnant, it's only for a time. And if we can make it through that there, it's going to be okay. And there is redemptive love at the end of everything. And that's what I would like to see the audience walk away with.
How do we go about getting tickets to Deploy to the Cross, and where is it going to be?
Deployed to the Cross is going to be in Pickerington, Ohio at the Wigwam Theater. The address is 10190 Black Lick Eastern Road. Tickets are available from any of the cast members. Also on Ticket Spice, Deployed to the Cross, that's sisters, sispirit.ticketspice.com, Deployed to the Cross. It is April the 22nd at 7:00, and doors will open at 6:30. All seats are open. There will be no reservation of seats.
All right, that's general admission. And are you going to allow people to pay at the door?
It depends upon our sales are up. So we want to make sure that the people who have bought tickets have tickets. But I will post and I will let it be known that there should be and probably will be some tickets available at the door.
Before we close out, I always like to leave my audience with some kind of word of encouragement from my guests. So how about you starting off, Sonia? Give a word of encouragement to someone out there in regards to anything that we've talked about.
My word of encouragement for the day, I would say follow your dreams. If you've had an inkling of a thought of something that brings you joy, if you found that place of joy for you, whether it's poetry or cooking or singing or dancing or just loving on other people, whatever that is for you, whatever that source of joy is, go get it. Go make it your life. Make it, it's part of your calling. So just go for it. Step out on faith, make that leap, take that jump, whatever that is, go do it. That's what I got, because that's my life. That's how I'm living my life. And I want everyone to do the same. I want you to find joy and happiness. And we're a big part of it. Sometimes we're our own barrier. So this is your okay, everyone. Go do it.
I like that. Go do it. Phylis, your words of encouragement.
I would like to encourage everybody that life isn't easy, but life is good. And if you have a dream, dream it hard, dream it frequently, dream it every night. And then what you have to do after that is you have to pursue it. Because we can dream, but if we don't do anything about it, it doesn't mean anything. So pursue your dreams and believe that you can achieve it. It can be done no matter what if you keep on the path. Enjoy life, smile, be happy, and make other people happy through what your gift is. And enjoy the arts, because the arts tell the story that a lot of people can't tell themselves.
Well, I agree with both of those statements. You uplifted me. You gave me some encouragement for today. So I really appreciate that. And I want to thank both of you for being with me on Let's Talk All Things Art. I'll be in the
Thank you so much.
I'll be there.
Can't wait to see you.
Thank you so much, Julie, for having us on here today. This has been a pleasure. And it's just been a blessing that we have a tool that can be used to get everybody out and know what's going on in the art world.
Thank you for being with me on Let's Talk All Things Art. This is another Mind for God production sponsored event hosted by me, Julie Whitney Scott.